Alright, Dan.
Do it with 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 Dan. Do it with Dan.
Do it with Dan. Dan.
Dan. Dan. Dan. Dan's Dan.
Do it with Dan. Yes, sir.
The good old-fashioned Honda Magna. Oh. Carbureted. I like. No, not the mud. It's low to the ground too, man. Drag those pipes, bro. Drag and pipe. Drag and pipe. Gotta get used to the whole, like, am I in 6th gear? What gear am I in? No, I'm sorry, 5th gear. It's a 5-speed, not a 6-speed. Some of you guys found my old YouTube channel, which is Danny Tacoma 4x4, and found my old videos of this thing back when it was really clean. I guess I'll put the link in the description. I don't upload videos to that channel anymore since that was so long ago. That is just like the best feeling ever. It's not even that fast compared to like a sports bike, you know? But the Magnas are quick, man. The 0 to 60 times are pretty quick on these things too. I can handle this thing pretty good for what it is. I used to be able to whip this thing around all day. Cruise at 75 like it ain't shit. It's just loud. Right now, guys, I'm on my way to school. I figured I'd take the Magna so I could shout my whole way to school. Literally the only way you can hear anything is if I shout. God, I love this bike so much though, man. Like, that throttle dump though. You be sitting there in 5th gear and you're like, you know what? Oh. Then a downshift. It's just an awesome bike, man. The Magna's easily my favorite bike that I've ever owned. I mean, there could be better bikes out there, but I doubt it. I have never loved like this bike before. I might actually adjust the pipes. Like, I might put baffles in this pipe because of how loud it is. It's almost impossible to do my motovlogging thing. Clutchless lifting, bro. I really wish I could articulate my thoughts a little bit better, but I'm not used to riding this bike and talking yet. It's kind of a different feeling than a sport bike, you know? I've got so many cool plans for it. First of all, I want to talk about is the paint. I don't think I'm gonna go with black again. I really am thinking about like a sky blue or a baby blue with 2 white stripes in the middle, and replacing the black leather seat with a tan leather seat. Oh yeah, sometimes the throttle gets locked, which is kind of cool. It's like it's my own built-in cruise control. This is fucking cool. Like, I don't have to be, I'm not on the throttle at all. It's just maintaining about 3,500 RPM. It'll slowly start to drop if I twist it. Cruise control, baby. Come on. You just tilt with the bike, it'll go on its own. That's a new feature. the sticky throttle. That wasn't that didn't exist before I had the bike. They've changed out the grips, which I like the grips a little bit better. I haven't decided if I like them 100% better or if it's like give and take, because the grips I had on it were actually kind of shitty, and I'm kind of glad they're gone. This is actually kind of fucking cool, cruise control. I've never had a bike with cruise control, and I know it's not actually cruise control, it's just the fact that it's a sticky throttle, but it's kind of convenient because I can work more with my hands now. It sticks right at like 50, 55 miles an hour. Come on, Camry, let's go. That's what I'm talking about. So I guess you give and take things with this bike. You know, when you're driving around town and stuff like that, it's a little bit more comfortable. But on a long trip, I can certainly tell that this bike is not nearly as comfortable. That 4.5 hour ride back from Macon proved that. I wouldn't make that trip again unless I had to. And it really might just be the seat. The seat that I have on here is tilted downwards almost, so it kind of forces you into sitting low where the hard points are. So maybe if I adjust the seat, or if I change the seat, it'll be more comfortable. Which is something I plan on doing anyway. And I'm gonna bring it back to the original hard struts, I think, too. The hardtail struts. It's got a Springer seat on it, so I guess you don't really need as much suspension as you would with like a full-fledged motorcycle. I don't know, because on a regular motorcycle, a Softail, which it has the appearance of a hardtail, except that it's Softail, like it's got a spring somewhere between the swing arm and the frame. It just looks like a hardtail, so it's got the coolness and the awesome look of a hardtail bobber, yet it's got suspension. I kind of spoofed that by putting a Springer seat on here, and then someone went behind me and put springs on the back. So I feel like it's double suspension. You don't really need it. Maybe it's just been so long since I've ridden a bike without suspension. Maybe as soon as I put the hardtail struts on, I'll regret that decision. But we'll see. I can always put them back on if I don't like them. But I think I'm gonna go with the slammed hardtail again. I made some struts back in the day. Oh shit, yeah, I wonder two things, man, two things. So first of all, I'd like to give a shout out. I don't usually do this anymore. I don't really give shout outs on YouTube videos anymore. Not because I don't think people deserve them, but just because there's so many good channels, it's hard to keep up with them, you know? Like, there's so many smaller channels now. I know this is gonna sound kind of weird, but it hit me the other day that I'm no longer considered a small channel, which is incredible, I guess. I mean, that's what I wanted. It's just got a different feeling that I no longer have the site as a smaller channel, even though I'm not anywhere near where I want to be. I'm no longer considered a smaller channel. So as a bigger channel, I guess, you fucking dick. As a bigger channel, I would like to give a shout out to a friend of mine, WALTERRIFIC. He was nice enough to give me a shout out, and I'm not doing this as like a thank you for it, but he definitely has some awesome content. His intro video to like who he is certainly the coolest intro video I've seen since Suburban Delinquent. So I'm gonna put his link in the description. I really want you guys to check him out. He's got the fucking coolest helmet ever. I don't really know the backstory on the helmet. I'm sure he's explained it 10 billion times. But he's got the coolest fucking helmet. It's got gas masks on it and fucking like spikes sitting at the top of it. It's awesome. So make sure to go check out his videos, dude. He's got some good content, and he's not an aggravating motovlogger like I am. Like, he's got some really good opinions. And the second thing I want to talk to you guys about is my legal troubles. That's right. I told you I'd make a video about this when it got settled. Well, I finally went to court for something that happened 2 years ago. 2 years ago, I worked for a supplement company. I think I'll keep them nameless since, you know, I'm not allowed to go back there anymore. That's part of the agreement. But I worked for a supplement company. You know, like proteins and bodybuilding stuff. Pretty common one, actually. The biggest and douchiest company there is. Well, anyway, long story short, I was offered the manager's position and I turned it down. The new manager came in and his numbers fucking sucked because the whole store is based off commission. You get paid $725 plus commission. There was some days where I'd make $200 or $300 in commission alone. And my numbers were awesome. They asked me to be the manager, so I couldn't do it because of school, so I turned it down, man. I had to turn down the manager's position. I couldn't work 60 hours a week. Well, because I was still fresh and dude, this is like my first real job, I guess. I'd worked in auto shops and stuff like that before, but I'd never worked in like a retail store, so this was my first real job. I was pretty young, I was pretty naive. Well, since our numbers were sucking so much, he goes, listen, my manager at the time goes, by the way, they were going to fire him because his numbers sucked. And they were gonna fire him. I know I'm kind of trying to keep this sporadic because I'm about to go into school. But they were gonna fire him because his numbers sucked. One day after work, he comes up to me and he says, hey, listen, man, our numbers are really bad right now. I'm gonna blame it on employee purchases because employee purchases are running our numbers down. We would buy protein bars a couple times a day and eat them, so you'd only have one sale. They'd be a low number, it'd be like $1.50, and you'd have one or two of those, and it would really kind of drive down your metrics. Not a whole lot, but enough, I guess, to where he thought it would be a difference. Well, so we had all been doing this for like a month. We'd all start writing things down that we were gonna buy and pay for them at the end of the month. This was directions from our manager, the manager at the time. Well, out of nowhere, about a month into it, he's waiting for me outside of work. I've got a protein bar in my hand, and you know, I think another protein bar that I was, one of them I had already eaten, the other one I had not. And he basically said, he goes, I'd been closing that night by myself. And he goes, what you got in your hand? I said, oh, I just got a protein bar. I ate one, and I'm going to eat one tonight before I go to the gym. And that's going to be that. And he goes, did you pay for it? And I'm like, well, no, I'm going to come back on Friday and pay for it like you said we should be doing to help our numbers. And he goes, no, you're suspended. Give me your key. And I was like, dude, what the fuck are you talking about? And he goes, give me your key. You're suspended. I was like, for what? For stealing. And so that kind of threw me through a loop. I was like, are you fucking serious? I won't say his name either, because he no longer works for the company, but he's in a shittier place than I am right now, so he can eat a dick. He goes, you're suspended. Come back on Friday and we'll talk about it. So I said, okay. So Friday comes around, I go into the store to talk about it, and there's 3 people there that two of them are from corporate, one of them are for HR. He says, clock in and just start blocking and facing, which is a common sales tactic, you know, to pull the product forward to the shelf to where it's on the edge, and it makes the store look a little bit nicer. So clocked in, I start doing that. And then the person from HR calls me to the back of the room, and puts me on the phone with another person from HR and says, talk to this person, and basically forces me to agree to things that I didn't do. He says, did you take product out of the store without purchasing it? I said, well, yeah, but I'm going to buy it on Friday. That was the whole idea. And he goes, that's not what I asked. I said, did you take product out of the store without purchasing it? I said, first of all, I had all intentions of paying for it. This is what my manager set up. This is how we're supposed to do it to save our numbers. And he goes, stop right there. That's not what I asked you. Did you take product out of the store without paying for it? And finally I said yes. And then he made me agree to a number, which he basically said if I didn't cooperate, he was going to call the cops. So I cooperated. I said exactly what he wanted me to say. And he said, all right, well, thank you. Just put your own words in writing. And he told me what to say. He said, just put that in your own words in writing. So I wrote it all down in my own words. And he goes, okay, let me make a quick phone call to HR, even though he was from HR, and I'll call you back. Hangs up the phone. I'm sitting in the back. There's no air conditioning back there either. I've been sweating my balls off for 2 hours while he like tricks me into all this shit. And then he goes, he gives me a call back and he says, Daniel, we're prosecuting you. And as soon as he said that, a cop walks around the door and arrests me. And I then go to jail. I went to jail for that. I was only in holding for like a day. I was only in there for the day. I made bail. And I'd been waiting on that shit to clear for 2 years. It's cost me 2 jobs because of background check processes. I was supposed to get a promotion at my previous job, and they said, yeah, we need to do background check so you can get the promotion, which doesn't really make much fucking sense because I've been providing work for them for a year, and background check comes back as theft by taking, which it was like, it was just such a minimal amount. I couldn't believe the fact that they even bothered that. I didn't even take it. They got it back. They took the bag back from me, so I never actually stole anything, which I didn't have intentions of stealing anyway. Well, anyway, I finally went to court about it on Friday the 13th, which here's the kind of like weird ironic part is that I was actually arrested on Friday the 13th of September. And it's just kind of weird that it all got taken care of on the 13th as well. It's just an odd day for me, you know. Well, I go to court, and the judge talks to me, says, "You young man, you don't want this on your record, don't do it again. I was like, I didn't do it. I explained the whole situation. He says, okay, dismissed of all charges. So I've been dismissed of all charges. Unfortunately, it's still on my record as an arrest, even though it says dismissed. So I'm going to go through the expungement process of that as well, since I was, you know, never found guilty or non-guilty. But that's just where I'm at. I wasn't convicted of anything, and I sure as hell didn't steal nothing. And that's kind of been my legal problems that I've been dealing with for the past 2 years. And it's all done. It's all taken care of now. All I got to do is do the expungement process, and I'm done.